welcome back to the journey. I just want to do a little Minnie Mouse and the puppy that survived so everybody can see how big he's growing. He's getting bigger and Minnie's doing good. And we'll get into it. So, got Max over here. And I'm going to get a little bit of music to go on in the background. So that way it's not just dead noise going on throughout the video. But it's time for serious talk time. Just like the clip says, just like the title says, I've been watching the news, been watching different things, been going over different things in my mind and figuring different things out. And I figured it's time to talk about some stuff going on. A, in the world, B, for homesteaders, what you need to do, what you need to think about doing, and everything else. So, if you guys have not seen Frontier House, that is one thing I highly, highly recommend. I know people don't like doing research. I know they don't like reading books. I know they don't like doing other things. Make the time. Everybody can sit down. They can watch television. That is one thing that draws us all in television. We can sit there. We can watch it all day. We can binge watch. And Frontier House has, I think, like 10 or 12 episodes. I'm not 100% sure. So you can go ahead and binge watch that like you binge watch everything else. Are you leaving the planet for your home world? The planet. No. I'm not going nowhere, David. I'm staying here on Earth. Even if I have my spaceship, I'm not going out into space. It's too sketchy. If Elon Musk goes to Mars, I'll still stay here. I won't even go to visit because so many things can go wrong. But, like I was saying, Frontier House, for those of you that didn't see it, it happened back in 2001. And it was different families that went back to the old school way of life. They had to build cabins. Some of them already had cabins made. I believe it was up in Montana. And they had chickens and dairy cow and goats and all different things. And they had to live that lifestyle like a real life TV series. And I don't know if they won anything or anything like that at the end of it. But it showed life, how difficult life was for the pioneers, how difficult life was without electricity, without a lot of things. And even back then, now we're 20 years later, 21 years later, back in 2001, they didn't want to leave their hair dryers or their makeup or their cell phones or anything like that. Just think how much farther we are now and the luxuries we have now, that if something does happen, you're not going to have it. And there's been one thing we've always been taught, and that is history repeats itself. Now, what they don't say is history repeats itself because you fail to remember. So, taking that into consideration, history repeats itself because you failed to remember. Now, why do I say that? I say that because we go back 2 years to 2020. How many people were going crazy because they ran out of this simple little thing called toilet paper? Now we're 2 years later, and I guarantee those people still do not have toilet paper stocked up. They probably still buy it once a week or once a month, and if something like that happens again, they're not thinking about it. Over the last 2 years, we've had supply shortages. We've had the supply chain crisis and everything like that. And we've seen things go off the shelf and disappear and not come back. How many of you have gone back out now that stuff's back on the shelves for stuff that's back on the shelves, and actually bought extra? So you don't just have one can of corn sitting in your cabinet, you've got 10 cans of corn sitting in your cabinet. We hear the government say different things, and I know some of us believe what the government says, and some of us don't believe what the government says. But the government talked about supply crisis, supply chain shortages. Now they're talking about a brutal, dark, cold winter. Look at what's happening to Europe right now. Everything that happens overseas, across the pond, normally always comes over here. You had the riots happen in England and Germany and all that, and then what happened here? We had all the riots and stuff come over here. Then you had the sickness start over there, go through Europe, and then where'd it come? It came here. Europe, with everything going on, they're having issues, and people are going to start freezing this winter. People aren't prepared. People don't have things together. That's the little baby back there. And we're not remembering to fix things, so the past comes back and hits us again. Right now, everybody should watch Frontier House. Not being paid to say that, but you need to watch it. You need to pay attention. You need to see what life could be like if something like that happens. Another big TV show a lot of people love watching was Walking Dead, the zombie TV show. I watched the show. It's getting ready to end, a couple more episodes or something like that. But just think, not just the zombie part of it, but think of how they had to live, how hard it was to cook, safety for themselves, everybody always trying to take what they had, being in bad areas. What did a lot of the communities do? They went out into the middle of nowhere. They weren't in the big cities because big cities were off limits. That's where danger is. That's where bad things happen. That's where criminals are. You know, a lot of people don't want to go out in the middle of nowhere because A, they're not physically fit nowadays. 2, in those type of situations, you're not going to have fuel to be able to go wherever you want. And walking is out the door because most people aren't in shape. So we need to start thinking. I haven't really done any like doomsday, fear porn, scary type videos like all the other YouTube channels are doing right now because there's a million of them out there. But we do need to have a serious talk. We need to watch Frontier House, see what life could be like if we have to go back to that situation. And I watched a couple episodes of a channel here in Arkansas. I can't remember off the top of my head. But she does cooking on her cast iron pots and pans. And her house is set up with canning jars. And she does laundry out back with the scrub board and press and everything like that. How many of us live that lifestyle? Not many of us. How many people live like the Amish besides the Amish? Not many of us. We're sucked in, and we're focused on the wrong things in life. We're stuck playing on computers. We're stuck watching television. We're stuck watching movies. We're going for the easiest luxury, comfort type things in life. That's not doing nothing to us. We're just wasting our lives, wasting our time. For the last several days, I've failed, and I've repeated that part of history because I've been laying around the house because now that I got the couch set up, now that I got the TV set up, I've been sitting here watching television, playing games on the computer when I could be at the homestead getting work done. Today, I was there all day working, getting things done. That's how simple and how easy it is to not want to get anything done. And when we don't get anything done, if something like that comes about, a cold, dark, hard winter, where are you going to be at? What situation do you put yourself in? Look at people in Florida that stayed because they didn't believe a hurricane was going to be bad, and some of them won't even get the chance to regret it because they lost their lives to it. Others, they've lost a lot more property, family, pets, and everything else because they didn't prepare. You've got to prepare. You've got to get your house in order. You've got to focus on what you want to do. Um, Between last night to today, I've hit the ground running. The past month, I've been working on getting things together. I bought some lighters. I bought some the diamond matchstick log fire things that I used to use to start fires. Now that I got the wood stove, I've got that set up. I got all the piping, got the wood stove running now. Picked up some canned goods, picked up some ramen noodle, picked up some Denny Moore beef stew. Um, I'm getting things in order. Inflation is only going higher. Prices are only getting higher every month. My electric bill is now $240 and some change here, and I'm not using less. You're going to Purdom Lane, Scott. See, that's another downfall. That's another downfall, Scott. We shouldn't, when things go bad, we shouldn't be looking at, we're going here, we're going there because these people have this going and these people have that going. We should be in a situation where we don't have to go nowhere. We should be in a situation we don't have to rely on somebody else, hard work and labor and everything else. Let alone, someone that has these big old aggressive dogs like Max, that this is how he sleeps. Right, Max? See, that's how goofy Max sleeps. But you also gotta think, Max isn't always goofy. Neither is Mickey or Chubbs. So not only would it be hard to come to Purdom Lane, but trying to get into Purdom Lane is a whole nother story. Hence, Anatolian Shepherds. That's another thing people should be thinking about. For personal protection, personal safety, do you have a dog that is able to do that? Do you have a dog that can catch you food? The dogs can catch armadillos, they can catch rabbits, they can catch squirrels, they've caught one cat. So that can be food on your table in a bad situation. But we need to be thinking, we need to be getting stuff together. Utilities are going up. I'm now 99.9% sure I've changed my plans once again. I'm looking at possibly moving the shed, getting the shed cleaned out, and getting the shed put back deep into the property, and setting up rain catchment gutters for the metal roof, and getting an IBC tote to collect rainwater. So if something does happen, then I can get out to the homestead and be in that situation. Right now, what state do you live in? What food sources are out in your area? Here in Arkansas, there's wild plums on my property, there's acorns, there's black walnuts, and the animals are going crazy. They're eating up all the nuts and everything like that across the property because they're falling from the trees right now. If you're in a snow-covered climate, like we will be shortly, but not deep snows, like Montana and Wyoming, then you're down to hunting. If things get bad, how many people are going to go out, shoot a deer to feed their family, and they have not learned the preserving methods, how you can dry age, how you can salt, how you can smoke it into jerky, all these different techniques to preserve the meat. Most people don't know that. So what are they going to do? They're going to shoot the deer. They're going to eat 5-6 pounds of the meat between their whole family, and then that deer is going to rot, and that deer is gone. You have thousands and thousands of deer get killed by everybody going out shooting deer. Well, guess what? Hunting is gone. Look at the buffalo back when the white people first came over, and they shot up all the buffalo, and buffalo herds just disappeared. They went extinct. You couldn't find buffalo. And that was a population of a lot less than what we have now. Just think if the population now went out and everybody went hunting, everything would be extinct. So you want to prepare, you want to get ready. Utilities are going up, so like I was saying, I'm 99.9% sure I'm probably gonna build an off-grid situation again, like I did in Colorado. When I had the money, I'm gonna put solar in. I'm gonna probably do rain catchment. I'm thinking about a well, and then if I do a well, I've got to figure out, you know, without being on the grid for a deep well, what I need to do. So I've looked into windmills, for the old water pump windmills, and I also looked at solar pumps, to a deep well solar pump, to figure that out as well. So I'm trying to get my affairs in order. I'm trying to get my situation set up where it's a better situation, because every week that I go to the store, prices are climbing. Gas is starting to climb again. Dog food is climbing. Grain for the animals is climbing. Hay is climbing. And we haven't even seen the effects of this year, because we're not into next year. This time next year is the effects we'll see this year. It is always delayed by a year, because the corn that was harvested this year does not hit the markets really until the following year. We're still eating the surplus and the reserves before this year's stuff comes through. So the drought, tornadoes, hurricanes, everything that affects wildfires, we're going to start seeing this. And the government is even saying it. They're saying cold, dark, hard winter. They're saying food prices are going to continue to climb. They're saying everything's going to continue to climb. So I just want to put it out there. Once again, Frontier House is something you guys want to go watch. You want to see what it's like, and you need to start doing things. Stop wasting your time on the computer playing video games. Stop wasting your time watching television, watching movies. Get out, make something happen, do something to better your life. Also, I just put 30 acres of my property up for sale, on Zillow, for sale by owner, under my 901 Purdom Lane, because I have a mortgage on the homestead. So if I can sell the 30 acres in small lots, 2.5 acre lots, or 5 or 10 or 20 or 30, depending on what people want to buy, if I can sell that and get rid of my mortgage, my remaining mortgage, then that saves me $570 a month. So I'm trying to reduce my bills, because the electric here is up to $240, the water is $100, internet is $90. Everything just continues to climb. So the best thing to do is downsize, downgrade, and try to get rid of payments we don't need. If you have a luxury car, that's expensive payment that you probably don't need right now. Do you need a huge house right now? A 5-bedroom for a family of 3? Probably not. Do you need expensive clothes, the newest suit, the newest glasses, the newest iPhones? Think about these things. What do those luxury items do for you in a bad situation? They're not going to help you. If you don't have a wood stove, I know a lot of them are sold out right now in back order. I would highly recommend getting a wood stove for this winter. I would highly recommend getting some firewood together. I have 120 acres of woods. I have plenty of wood. I've been cutting wood for 2 years. I don't do it every day, but I've got plenty of wood sitting there ready to burn. If you have old lamps, the kerosene lamps, if you don't, buy some of those. And if you can find the fluid, I went to 5 different stores. Out of 5 stores, only 1 store had it, and they had 5 bottles. I bought 4 of the 5 bottles because they were small bottles. You need to get things together. We know wintertime, power goes out. What type of lighting do you have? Do you have the kerosene lamps? Do you have flashlights? Do you have batteries? Do you have a generator? Wood stove? Whatever you can think of for winter. Snow boots, heavy jackets, wool socks, wool blankets. You might want to get a little bit extra, because utilities could be cut, Utilities could go where you can't afford them, and it's better to have stuff on hand than not have it and suffer, freeze, or possibly die. So, this is the serious talk I was talking about. Get out there, figure things out, and remember, live happy, live free. That's the only way to be. Have a great night, guys. Thank you.